everyone, welcome to another Game Talk. It's hot, it's sweaty, and my name's Keith.
My name is Will.
It's the end of September, Will, and it is hot in the
Yes.
studio.
Yes.
It is ridiculously hot. We're about to get sweaty.
Yes.
Talking about a little ditty that I know you're a big fan of.
Yes. Link's Awakening!
He finally woke up. Link's always waking up.
Yep.
Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, he is.
He's waking up.
You think they're going to do that for Breath of the Wild too? You think he's going to wake up at the beginning?
You think? I don't think so.
Not like from 100-year slumber again, but just like he's waking up for the day, and they just happen to start
Oh,
the game
yeah. That would actually be a pretty fun little nod.
Yeah, just to keep
I'll
it going.
take it. I'll take that.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
We're not talking about Breath of the
We're
Wild.
talking about a small little bite-sized Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Not really bite-sized. I mean, in comparison to Breath of the Wild, yes.
It's a single
But it's
bite.
packed, Keith.
It's a tasty bite,
Yes.
but it's a bite.
Yes. Very filling, very rich. So, yeah, Link's Awakening.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about today.
Your opinions of it are going to be very rich. I picture them to be vivid. I picture you, because you played the original. Never played the original. Okay, neither of us have played the original. But Will is absolutely like a woman with child is glowing about this game.
Yes.
I want to hear all the ways that you think it did things right.
Keith, one thing I love about this game is that it's beautiful, but it's extremely faithful to the original. I've seen clips and stuff from the original after having played through the new one, and I can see, like, I know exactly where it is. If I see the Game Boy version, I know where it is in the new version.
Yeah.
It's pretty one-to-one, so I feel like I haven't missed anything.
Right.
A lot of the times when I play like a remake or something, I'm like, yeah, but I feel like some things might have been lost in translation whenever they change a lot. It's like, yeah, but I wonder how the original is, because at that point, like, Resident Evil 2 versus Resident Evil 2 Remake, basically completely different games.
Really, yeah.
But with this one, I feel like I can hold a conversation with someone who's only played the original, and we can still be on the same page.
And they'll be like, you have how many buttons?
Yeah, exactly. That's one thing I wanted to talk about with you, Keith. But yeah, so...
I agree with you on all those points. I think it's very cool. I think it's very cool that it is faithful to the original, and I've heard people say that it's faithful to the original enough to where I feel like I wouldn't have to play the original to experience what people experienced in the original. Like you said with Resident Evil 2, like if I played Resident Evil 2, I couldn't really understand it based on playing the remake, which I have played. But this one, I can say, like, you know what, this has just been a way for me to experience this Game Boy game that I would have played. Yeah. And so I am thankful for that. And I've enjoyed it a great deal.
Yeah. How do we feel about the graphical style, Keith?
It's not my favorite.
Okay.
But if you're going to remake a Game Boy game in kind of like 3D space like this, I like it.
Yeah. It's a good way to get the point across. And full disclosure, we're going to be going spoilery.
We are. We're going to spoil it.
Yeah, this is an old game. And to talk about a lot of the things that I love about it kind of requires people having an understanding of the ending. So if you guys want to keep this completely safe for yourself, you've never played it, you haven't played the remake yet, maybe don't watch this one.
That's true.
But
spoiler warning.
Here's coming. I'm about to drop one.
Oh, what?
One thing I love about the art style is that the game takes place in a dream. And you see Keith, you see Link at the beginning, and he looks a certain way. He's in like a very like early 90s style anime kind of look. That's what it looks like in the real world. And once he starts dreaming, he's in the Windfish's dream. Now all of a sudden everything's little miniatures, the like.
Well, I'm not an anime fan, but at the last cinematic, I found myself thinking, I'd watch that anime.
Yeah.
I would watch that anime.
What a moment.
It was a beautiful moment.
The Windfish?
As that big belly of that fish comes floating right over my little head.
And like sitting on the... And I love how it's the same shot composition of whenever you're sitting there talking to Marin on the ocean. And it's like you sitting on a log. And then at the end it's Link sitting on a log by himself.
Yep.
Because, Marin was in the Windfish's brain. And now it's flying away.
So what are the implications, I guess, really to go ahead and unpack all of this story, spoiler mode, is that the Windfish was around when he wrecked? The Windfish exists physically and was sleeping?
I guess he was near the Windfish, and whenever he went into an unconscious state, his consciousness fused with the Windfish's subconscious. I don't know, Keith.
I don't know either. That is one complaint, is they don't give me enough to understand that, but
Yeah, I never even really thought about it that deeply, honestly, how it came to be that happened. But yeah.
It is meaningful. And guys, I can't apologize enough for how profusely we are both sweating during this game talk.
Yeah. It's not pleasant for us either.
It's not.
Arguably less pleasant for us.
Yeah, arguably. Golly. What else did you want to talk about?
Quality of life improvements are great.
Yeah.
I've heard things from the original how, Your sword and your shield were your A and B button, and if you wanted to attach any other weapon to Link, you had to de-equip your sword and shield.
If you were to hand me the Game Boy version of this game now, I would not play it.
Take it away.
Or even before. Like, if you would have said, this is the only way to experience this Zelda experience, I wouldn't.
Honestly, that's one of the main reasons that I never played it. Because I felt like there was a remake going to be coming at some point. Because, you know, they remake every Zelda game.
Of course.
So I figured it was coming. And I did not want to have to deal with not having my sword. Because I want to be able to jump or lift something. But yeah, so quality of life improvements.
You had to equip the bracelet too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I lifted many things.
You had to equip the Pegasus boots too.
Well, I lifted so many things in that game.
And every time you ran with the Pegasus boots, Keith,
and
you had to pause it.
I did that so many times.
Yep.
I ran with the boots so many times, Will.
True quality of life improvements. I feel like that would add at least an hour to your playtime, just constantly stopping.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes me just my stomach gurgle thinking about having to do that. I'm so glad I didn't have to do it, and it made the game playable for me. One sad thing is I didn't get to listen to the game so much.
That is very sad.
I played these things at work during downtime just so I can keep up. Like if I were to play this in my ooh, that's some rain. That might cool it down in here. Forgive the sound. But every time I play again, when I want to try to keep up for us to talk about it on a Game Talk, I can't usually play it during my stream times because I want to play my stream games and I want to add this to that. So I have to play it at work during downtime. So I didn't get to listen to the soundtrack. But the things I did here were very good. Yes.
Fantastic.
So I imagine that's another quality of life thing is that the music has been updated. It's not all
it has been updated. It still kind of has that little 8-bit chiptune-y style to it. Like even the first one in the game, which we might, if there's a bonus bit on this, I'm not sure, but there might be some music in there. You can still hear the little ding, 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 ding. So it really is kind of like it just fleshed out the music that was already there. They added some little flourishes to it and stuff. And the music is very dreamlike. I don't know. It's very like kind of surreal. Most of the tracks kind of have like even the main theme. Once you get the sword and it starts playing the classic Hyrule theme, it's still got a little twist to it.
I love that. I love the classic Hyrule theme.
That's a feel-good moment when you pick up that sword and it kicks in. It's like, ugh, I'm home.
Whenever I'm silently playing, it's fun. But whenever I'm playing with sound and I come back out into the overworld, oh man, I love it. I love it. It sounds so good. Well, so now that we've talked about some things, I do have a question for you. Okay. I'm a person that very much struggles to get into the story of these games where I experience it all via reading text. Okay. I struggle. Okay. I don't know what it is, but I struggle very hard when the only thing I have to go on with the character is what they said to me in the text bubble, especially when it's fairly limited. Like, Marin probably doesn't speak 100 words to you in the game. Yeah. Maybe 200.
Maybe not even 50.
Yeah. It's not a lot. So
unless you keep talking to her and she says the same thing over and over.
Right. I got up the rookie numbers. You got up those numbers. But so you seem like a person who's super into the story of this game.
It's not like overwhelming. There's no like major cinematic beats that, made me cry or anything. Right. But there's like a pervasive sense, especially once it starts doling out what's really going on to you. It's just kind of always in the back of your mind. And knowing that I knew the ending going in. I knew it was all a dream.
And so did I.
I didn't know everything that was going to happen along the way. So every time, it's like whenever you rewatch Breaking Bad and you get a new appreciation for it, knowing where it's going to end up. It's kind of like watching or playing through this game, like whenever you're sitting on the beach with Marin and she's talking about how, Taryn says that there's nothing beyond the island, but, I don't want to believe that. I want to believe there's more out there. Right, and as the player, there ain't nothing else out there. It's like a really kind of bitter moment, like I guess bittersweet. Sure. Just little moments like that, and the music once again, which you sadly didn't experience all the way. The music really does kind of elevate those moments. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool how you go into that mural or whatever, and you're like about a little over halfway through the game, and it tells you like you go to that mural, you see the windfish, and it's like Koholint Island is but an illusion. When the windfish wakes up, and it's like, oh man. And
you got to choose. If you didn't know it, you'd have to choose. Like, is the game trying to misdirect me? Yeah. Or is this like is this to be believed, or I'm going to find out some elevated truth at the end of this game? So I can imagine that if you didn't know it was coming, you'd be like, you have to make that choice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was really cool how it's I guess the only reason that Koholint Island existed for so long and that people started to grow like the characters became more fleshed out and had personalities and stuff is because the windfish never woke up because the nightmares came in. Yes. And started manipulating things so that he wouldn't wake up so they could have control over this world.
So if you suffer from night terrors, even the windfish of Zelda suffers from this.
Mm-hmm. And he's a big old boy.
And he's a big old nasty big whale boy. Big old boy.
So, Keith, you told me that you might have some little nitpicks.
I have some nitpicks
about the game.
I have some nitpicks. First of all is my nitpick with Link in
Okay.
general. I want him to speak.
I don't.
I want to know, because my whole thing is with this story, I could get way more into it if I knew my character liked these people. For all I know, Link hates Marin. He hasn't said a word to her. For all I know, like, he could just be super annoyed. Like, shut up and tell me where I need to go next. That owl, yeah, I know where I'm going. Thanks. You know, like, there's some annoying characters in the game that I can. I'm not saying I imagine Link does feel that way, but the game doesn't tell me how Link feels. And if it's supposed to be me, I would speak to these people who I meet. Also, the fact that they never respond. You know, the characters never say, because he does speak. In that scene where they're sitting on the log, why do you want me to infer what he's saying when there's only one thing he could be saying to produce this response from Marin? Like, why not give me the bubble?
Yeah.
It's just you're giving me the illusion that he doesn't speak.
It does give you an option to say yes or no, so we know he at least says yes or no.
Yeah.
And I was tempted when she's like, "Are you listening?" I was tempted to be like, "No," just to see what she said.
Yeah.
But
She obviously would just repeat it, probably.
Yeah.
But so that's a nitpick I have. Is just that if I already have the problem that I'm top-down Zelda, like you've pulled me back from really engaging there. I don't play a lot of games like this. I don't play a lot of I'm just getting back into Nintendo stuff and the way they handle things and story and the way Japanese folks do story. Mm-hmm. So I struggle with the text. There's a lot of things that separate me from the story. Mm-hmm. And so Link not speaking is just another one of those. I've always found it difficult to get into stories like this. I would also say, as far as a nitpick, the price is a nitpick for me.
I agree.
I agree. Say what you will, it was a wonderful time, but it's not. I mean, they chose to go back into and get the 26-year-old game. Yeah. I don't think it's fair that it's $60.
Yeah, to me, it's one of those things where, like, for me personally, I have no regrets spending $60 on it. But it's just weird that Breath of the Wild is the same price. Yep. And for Breath of the Wild, to do everything in it, easily 100 hours, maybe 200. Oh, yeah. Whereas this game, you can 100% it in like 15 probably. Yes. If you really know where you're going and what you're looking for. It's weird, but I don't know, Keith. This is just like a pure concentrated dose of pure Zelda essence. It is. Minus Ganondorf, Triforce, Princess Zelda, all that. But like the gameplay,
it's like 45% Zelda.
Gameplay, it is like pure distillation of Zelda. It is. Yeah, and the world, the fact that the world is so small, I think, kind of it makes it feel more densely packed. Mm-hmm. Like you never feel like you're wasting time. Even when you're backtracking, it's like, oh, I have a new item, so now I can finally go over and get this thing and that thing, and it just
I give it
constant feel good moments. Yeah.
So that's my whole thing, is that there is a disconnect for me with the price and what it is. Yeah. It's like you gave me this really cool distilled moment of history, but updated. It's a great time, but there are other games that obviously even took more to make. Like you can tell me everything you want about what it took to create this game. I don't know anything about Grezzo or whatever, but there's no way that it took the resources that Breath of the Wild took. So as a person, I get the economics behind $60 games, and I know I should be appreciative that games are still $60, but like you're choosing to keep with the market there. You're choosing to price this at $60 when I think based on what we currently have in the video game market, I don't know if it's worth the same as other $60 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not saying that this excuses it, but Kyle Bossman had an interesting point on the Easy Allies podcast. I don't know if you've heard
listen to them. I have. Did you listen to it this morning?
Where he's talking about how Nintendo's basically knows that not as many people are going to buy this as Breath of the Wild. Yes. So if they charge the full $60, they're going to be making closer to the amount of money they want for it. Because if they charge $30 and only a fourth of the people that bought Breath of the Wild, then they're making so much less money. And it's Zelda. They want Zelda to pull in those big bucks. Yeah. Because otherwise, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. But yeah. But overall, you had a great time, did you not?
I did. I had a good time with it. Okay. There were a couple times where I was like, I don't think I want to do another dungeon right now. Because I couldn't find some things. Sometimes there are some things in this game that are not intuitive. There's some things that it was like, I would not have thought of that if I didn't look it up.
The one thing that I had to look up I had to look up a few things, but one of them that I had to look up that I was like, you could give me 1,000,000 years and no obligations, nothing to do but play this game, and I probably would never figure that out. Where you have to go back to town and push the rooster statue.
Yeah.
Who told me to do that?
Yeah.
How would I know?
I would not have remembered to do that.
I've started a new playthrough on hero mode, and I went up there like early in the game and tried to push it. You can't push it at all throughout
And
the
it
whole
doesn't
game.
tell you that you can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you like, oh, you're not strong enough to push this yet, like it does with other stuff.
Oh yeah, it's because you get the.
You get the second
bracelet
with the elephants or whatever you call them.
Okay. Yeah, but whenever you try and push it, before you have that, it never says
Yeah.
like, oh, you need to be stronger. It's like, how? Come on, how?
Yeah.
But yeah.
What am I supposed to do there?
Yeah.
There's also, I feel like, a moment in the north end of the map where you're trying to get to that turtle dungeon or whatever, and there's rocks in there that you can't move, like the jagged rocks. I'm suspicious that there's a path blocked there that eventually becomes unblocked, and it just happens without any sort of item. You know, I think there's a rock in the way that you can't get to that hole to get you to the turtle thing, and then later after you finish the eagle dungeon, that way is clear because I was wandering around up there.
Come on.
I think.
If that's the case, that's dirty. That's just one of those things.
But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah. That's just one of those things of they want to keep it as faithful as possible, and this was a game that came out in '93 when people had no home internet, nothing better to do. Their favorite TV show came on in a 30-minute block. After that, it was gone for the day. They had nothing else to do.
That's true, and that's one of those. I was watching a stream of it, and I said like, "Yeah, I looked up how to do this. You want me to tell you how to do it?" And he was like, "Oh, you looked it up? Like that's so cheap or whatever." And I was like, "Dude, there are tons of other games I can play. If Nintendo doesn't want me to look it up, then they can keep their game. I got other things to do. I'm not gonna let the Link's Awakening steal time from me that it doesn't deserve."
We're on this earth for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be walking around pushing everything
exactly.
in the game. It's just not going to happen.
I'm not going to go home to my wife and be like, Lizzie, we're having a game talk. I can't eat dinner. I can't watch TV. I can't do anything because I got to push all these blocks. I got to check all the tiles, woman. But it was fun. I do have some complaints about it. I like to be the person that brings Will down just a little bit, to make sure that we're not completely Nintendo fanboying, and he'll do the same for me. I can be cynical, but the good far outweighs the bad for me.
Yeah, great game. Might be goaty for me. We'll see.
I just hope you're not stewing on any of my negative things. Hopefully it's not going to cause any distress for you later on.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Well, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to hear us talk about more video games, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, do that sort of thing. On Twitch is kind of, I won't call it heating up, but we're having some improvements over on Twitch. More followers and more people hanging out with us. So I'm on Twitch every morning from 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can watch the videos of that on YouTube. But we'd just love to hear from you. You can also join our Discord. I don't have a link for that right now, but you should hang out with us. You can find that link definitely on Twitch, but it's twitch.tv/games. But other than that, you got anything else? Then we will see you when the next Zelda game comes out. Please remember that we love you very much.
Keith, that was fun. Definitely fun. I gotta admit, you went a little hard in the paint there on one of the best games of the year, probably.
So?
I just think you kind of rained on everybody's parade a little bit, but
well, maybe people need to have a little rain on their parade with this stupid game, Will. This game is ridiculous. Nintendo is going to dip back in the money pot after 26 years just to steal another $60 from me, Will? $60 for this game. And it's 2019 and we're top down playing Zelda still? After I've already had a Breath of the Wild and you're going to sell me a $60 Zelda game? Also, may I say, this world is just a big square. They talk about it in the game. Oh, welcome to the world of Cocoland. Absolutely not. It is a square. It is 2019, Will. And if I have to sit through another Zelda game where Link, the protagonist, doesn't say a word, he doesn't speak, Will. He doesn't say anything. I don't know anything about him. Will, wait. Will, are you alright?
yeah, dude, I'm good. I just had a really weird dream though. See, we were gonna do a game talk about Link's Awakening, and we were having a great time, and then all of a sudden you started to trash it like it's some kind of bad game or something, and it really kind of like killed the vibe and bummed me out. So, good thing that was a
That's
dream.
crazy. You know I love Zelda. I'm hyped for Breath of the Wild too. Just finished up Link's Awakening. Yeah, that is a bad dream.
Really? You swear?
You know it's Pokemon that I hate, not Zelda. Sword and Shield coming up, they look so ridiculous. Those legendaries, a sword and a shield in their mouth. Wow, that's creative. Also, what's up with Surfetch? He just looks like a Farfetch that got his together. Also, with the Pokemon in general, what you got? Oh, these Pokemon only learn 4 moves. How is turn-based combat at all relevant for actual like dog fighting in an anime video game? It doesn't make